All right, good morning and welcome. It's wonderful to have Vikki and Sharlene here, celebrating being People's Choice Award winners from Derby. You two, who are you and what are you doing?
You go
What's your-
first. That's fine.
Okay. I'm Sharlene, and I'm one of the co-founders of Well Resolve with Vikki, and we are both trained psychotherapists.
So yeah, I think you covered the introduction. So I'm Vikki, also a trained psychotherapist, humanistic psychotherapist, where we incorporate creative therapies into the work that we do.
So I know you both met on that course at Derby, and it's wonderful to have you, and congratulations on being the People's Choice Award winners. Can you explain to anybody who doesn't know what Well Resolve is? What do you do? What have you brought to the world?
So we use interactive storytelling as a group therapy, working with, it is inclusive, so it's not exclusive to children with SEND or neurodiversity, but everything we do is tailored through the angle. So if you have dyslexia, ADHD or anything, we design everything so everybody is on the same playing field when they join our interventions. So that's our innovation side of it, but we do other creative therapies as well.
Fantastic. And what's the joy for both of you in bringing this stuff to the world?
I love it.
It's I think with young people who struggle with anxiety, with social isolation, and feeling that they don't fit, especially sort of within educational settings where they sort of struggle with fitting in the world, and if they're struggling with mental health problems, and where with what we do, we basically bring the chaos, but in a very structured and flexible way, and it's seeing the difference it makes with those young people and in how they respond to us, but also respond to each other. They're building friendships, confidence, and it's a real, like Vikki said, it's just, we love it. It's hard to explain.
I think it's just so rewarding when you it is hard to explain, but when you work with the children who we work with and you see them come in and they're very low in confidence and they don't engage with, they build a character. So it's, if you've played any type of tabletop role play, it's quite a similar format, but they build a character, they bring a lot of themselves into the character, but some of them completely go off track and build something completely different. But the skills that they learn around the table and how they permeate from the table into the classroom is something that we didn't expect. So we did this on the back of research, and it was a scholarship, and we primarily looked at social anxiety within that, but then the other stuff that's come from that as well, and seeing children who we'd met like initially who were very low in confidence, to then get to see them again who were so exceeding meeting EHCP targets, which is within their education, and to see that, it's like, it took us back and it overwhelmed us. I think the first time we ever got feedback, we were sat in a lecture and Charlie was like, "Oh my God, we've had this feedback," and we both read it and cried. We was like, and literally, we was like, it's quite overwhelming. And then that was where we was like, right, now we need to start doing measurements. We need to do this. We need to do that. So I think because we were so passionate about seeing them exceed, but then we was passionate in what we do, it just like accumulated together, and that's how we basically got to where we are today.
Fantastic. I love that phrase, we bring the chaos as well. I mean, I've hung out with you guys a couple of times. There's always a little bit of chaos going on.
Got to be a little bit crazy to do what we do.
Absolutely.
But you had a very successful Game Changers evening, right? So there we were in Derby celebrating entrepreneurship with some wonderful folks in the audience and some wonderful folks also giving their pitches. And it was a special event, so it was a certain format of pitching in front of this audience. You know, what was your experience like on the night, and how do you think you became People's Choice winners compared to the others? Because there was some pretty amazing folks up on that stage, right?
Yeah, we thought Michael had us at one point.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've done quite a lot of pitching over the last year to different audiences, and I think sort of being in that setting, but there was a lot of people, there's a lot of businesses that we knew and who knew of us, and you know, the work that we've been doing. So for us, it was very much showcasing our journey, and where we've come from in terms of, because it's, from, like Vikki mentioned about us doing research, which was 2024, wasn't it? Was it summer 2024 that we started? And everything's been quite organic, and we've evolved. We've taken on advice, and
to put it into context, so the Game Changer this year was the first time they've done it in that way at Derby University. Previous years it's been Pitch Perfect, where it was Oliver and a couple of other judges, and we entered it and we had never pitched before ever, and we went in and we was so like, we didn't have a clue what we was doing, and I think we came like, was it 12th or something? 13th out of like 20. And we were like, oh, great. That went well. But then we had the enactors pitch. We pitched at Rothschild. We've pitched in some other compositions. And every time we're like, can we have the feedback? So we've just like kept that. And I think that's just pushed us forward. And then to go to the same competition from being 13th just a year ago, well, coming 13th a year ago and then actually winning it has just been, it shows the progression that we've made as well within like what we're doing. So that was quite a big experience.
And I think it's also the confidence in, I think one thing that we've always had feedback consistently is our business model. And it's something that, because obviously, so as because we're very passionate about what we do with young people, and making that difference. And turning that into a business model is something that's always been quite tricky. And I think now we've got to the point where we've really focused and clarified sort of that direction, and that sort of all came together at the Game Changers as well. So I think it's that accumulation of everything, and that's what was recognised, I feel.
Absolutely. I mean, and ultimately, of course, with an idea like yours, if you can make money at it, you can do it forever. You could be grant related, and dependent on that kind of funding, and then when the grant runs out, then you got to stop. But if you can make your own money all the way through, you can do it more and more, and you can do it for a very long time, which is fantastic.
That's why we were struggling now, because we spoke to Oliver and we said we knew we had a revenue stream, because obviously we write our own books, we publish them, we do all these things, but it was how we can get that message across within the pitches, where we was like, because we were so passionate about everything else, we were like, this is what we do with the kids, and this is this, and this is this, and we needed to just give it that emphasis on like, actually we are sustainable, we don't rely on grants. We will absolutely be applying for grants, but that is not our sole like income stream, basically. And I think that's how we managed to pull that together for the Game Changer as well. So that was an accomplishment for us.
So Derby University and Oliver, have they been helpful to you? What's the experience been like working with them?
Oliver has been phenomenal, and Samantha as well. So we went to Oliver August 24, and our idea was like this. Was like, we knew we had a great concept, we had no real structure to how we're going to implement it. We just wanted to make a difference, we wanted to change the world. We had this idea of how we were going to do it, but we wanted to make it into a business. And he has been incredible in terms of he is very, very constructive in his criticism.
I think we've got quite a good relationship with him like that, because he will like put us in our place like so much, and we'll be like, okay, and we give it him back, and then we have an idea and it's like, okay, thank you for that.
Like, he sort of recalibrates us in terms of so we sort of have an idea, and he's always supportive, and at every step as we've sort of evolved and changed, he supported us with that and pushed us forward. And I think that's the other thing, he's it's like when different opportunities have come in, he's always throws them out and says, right, you need to go for this, you need to go for this. So is that constant support, guidance, and cheerleader as well. Absolutely phenomenal.
An incredibly patient man as well, right? In terms of, but I mean, how much stuff he hears every day and how involved he gets with everything, and he kind of hears the whole story from every founder, and you can see him, he's there like as interested half an hour into a story as he was in the first couple of minutes. Some of the rest of us, we get a bit distracted after 10 minutes and we're off doing other things in our brain. Oliver's all the way there, like proper present with you. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so you're on the Uni Days program at the moment. You made the top 100 cohort for that as well. How's that going? Are we going to see you in the top 10 in Revolut headquarters in a few weeks' time?
we're hoping so. We'll see how that goes.
I don't feel the confidence there, Vikki. I don't feel the confidence.
So we've got like a million, because obviously we're in an actor. So for anyone that doesn't know what that is, we run the program with Oliver again at the Enterprise Centre, and an actor is a student-led society, and that's also a pitching competition, which is where we've done quite a lot of our pitching, and we have just got through to their nationals as well, which is the UK final, which is going to be at the beginning of April. So we're getting together tomorrow to work out where everything needs to be. And so I think it could be the same pitch that goes forward. But we're going to go and meet Oliver tomorrow and probably chew his ear off and see what's what.
Well, obviously you're picking up checks and prizes and stuff in each of these places as you go along. Congratulations to you for that. But in that Unidays final, there's 5 investors there, all with money. And I know Rachel has a bias to female founders. She's got a check for 100 grand to write on the day. So, you know, when you're thinking about your hierarchy of what you want to do, just go and watch those vids for the panelists for the Unidays thing and decide which one colours up best for you.
Okay. I'll take that board.
So, I mean, there's lots of questions I could ask you, but I guess the most important one I need to ask is, what's your best advice for first-time founders who are getting into this stuff and maybe coming to demo night for the first time and bringing their story to life on stage? How can they be as good as you?
I think for the demo night, I would watch the content on the Canopy community. Because that is really helpful, but also
I think the demo is so different to other pitches, isn't it? That's what we found. It's not the same as anything else we've pitched before. So having the content available to watch was really beneficial for us to be able to structure it as well.
But I think also it's sort of take it on board, but also remembering that, you know, you're there for a reason. The fact that your concept, your idea is you. So be authentically yourself. And I
think one of the best advice is anyone. Sorry, I thought you'd finished. No, go on.
All right, you go.
No, I thought you'd finished. Sorry. I think one of the best advices that I've had, that I think, well, we've all heard it, and it's like everybody will come and give you advice, and it's all very valid, and these people who are getting advice from are all doing amazing, but don't let it affect your passion, because I think the one thing that works for Sharlene and I is we are very passionate about what we do, and everyone we speak to sees that and tells us that they can see how passionate we are about it. And as long as we keep that and we keep going with our purpose and taking the advice and figuring out which part of the advice works for us, then we'll keep going and we'll keep pushing forward. And collaborations and networking is always massively important as well.
Yeah.
I think one of the qualities I admire most about you guys is just beyond the passion and the energy you bring is how you've evolved, even in the time that I've known you. And you know, we sometimes talk about how coachable people are, but it's more than that. It's like you're listening to things and then you're taking the bits that you work for you and you're moving things forward. And the difference between what I saw at Game Changers and what I saw when I first met you, transformational in the way you tell your story. It's still the same story, you're just telling it much better. And you couldn't have, you know, I think it would have taken you a couple of years to get there without the influence of people like Ollie and stuff, but it's how you've applied that advice. And that's really special. That's like a really special quality to find in the community. Congratulations to both of you. Now, just to close off today, remind me of the ask. You had a very specific ask at Game Changers. What was that?
We're looking for companies to pilot our intervention. So strategic partnerships where we are looking for companies that would like to strengthen team cohesion and improve psychological safety by using our intervention within the workplace.
Okay, fantastic. And what sort of size companies are they? What do they look like? What do they smell like?
They can be any size, really. The intervention itself, we usually do between 4 to 6 people. But on top of the intervention, we have other services as well. So we have like neurodivergent friendly events, workshops around that. So there is other things, counselling services, but primarily the ask is to trial the intervention itself for now, but we will work with companies of any size.
Okay, fantastic. I get the feeling we should make some meetup groups in the Unidays cohort and get them to do the intervention when they're at the meetup. What do you reckon?
Oh, yeah.
to that.
Fantastic. All right, we'll talk about that on the Friday call. Thank you both very much for being here today and sharing a bit of your story, and congratulations to you for being the Derby Changes People's Choice Award winner 2026. Really, really special, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.